Here we go. Make sure that's all set up. All right, should be live now. Live chat. All right, we're good to go. There we are. Yeah, we're live. Okay, cool. Any lifestyle, the co-host? No co-hosts. All right. Gotta be the first one to like my live. Hello, what's up? How are you? Good to see you again. You as well. I'm doing good. How are you? Doing good. It's Thursday, almost Friday, so that is a positive for sure. I'm happy about that. How are y'all doing? I may not stream as long tonight because we got some NCAA games going on today, so I want to watch those. So I'm probably not going to stream as long tonight. I want to catch those games for March Madness, but nonetheless, we are here. We are ready to go. We are ready for Bitcoin to do its thing. Make sure I got that there. Okay. Can we cover Circle today? Yeah, absolutely. We can do Circle. 100%. How are you? I'm doing good, my guys. Are we still sticking to the Bitcoin plan? 100%. No changes. No changes at all. I'll pull my screen here in a second. Just want to get this all set up for Bitcoin here, and then I will dive into some charting here. No changes to the plan so far. It looks pretty good, but we can cover Circle today too. I like Circle. I did buy some Circle recently, so I do like it. Let me flip the old screen here. So yeah, no changes yet. We're still waiting for this move to develop to the downside. Nothing new yet. Still waiting for this wave to develop. It does look like this is the 1, 2, and then the 3 starting. So things should get moving pretty quickly if I'd based on wave 3. I mean, this was the wave 3 back here and things move pretty quickly. So if this truly is the wave 1, 2, 3 should move quickly. We should target about 57K, 58K-ish, somewhere at that range. Yeah, 58K is the next target for the wave 3. So we'll wait. You know, this still could form into a wave 1, an A wave, B wave, C wave, then a wave 3. So you just got to be patient, wait for price action to develop on Bitcoin. Nothing yet on Bitcoin that's suggesting otherwise. It does look like price is pretty impulsive to the downside. So just waiting on the final drop on Bitcoin to get to my levels, and then we'll evaluate there. Can you chart H-bar, Silvercrest for the past few lives, but haven't made it to your screen? Thank you. Yeah, we could do H-bar. H-bar and F. Yeah, we could do F. I mean, most of the altcoins, guys, I am waiting for Bitcoin to bottom before like all these altcoins take shape. Like right now on H-bar, my next target on it's 65 cents. This being the wave 1, 2, and then the 3 should target 65 cents next. But I am expecting more downside on H-bar, basically because it's probably going to follow Bitcoin. Like if Bitcoin goes down to 60K, then yeah, you know, H-bar is going to take, you know, maybe a 20% drop, maybe to probably take out these lows down here. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, and that's what most altcoins are suggesting. AMD, yeah, we can look at AMD. Will it start dropping to 50K right away, or will it pause somewhere in the 60K zone? It'll take time. Like right now, it looks like we have the 1 with the pullback 2. We'll drop down to about 58, then we'll have a pullback 4, and then drop down again. So it'll happen over the course of a month. It's not going to happen overnight. Let it drop, baby. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm waiting on that drop because that for me just brings altcoins down a little bit more, and I'm looking to buy some altcoins here on the dip. But I do have Bitcoin between 60 to 50K. That hasn't changed in over a month. Do you think Meta will bounce off the 0.32 or head all the way down to the 0.618? Hard to tell right now just based on the price action because it's very, very early in the drop. Right now it's, you know, kind of developing. And the reason why it's hard is we just kind of have to, like, we have to be patient and let price action tell us the story, because and then you also have to have a strategy around it too. When, you know, price hits certain levels, you got to be ready to deploy capital at those levels. And, you know, if you're waiting for, let me get the tool out. If you're sitting here waiting for the 0.382 to get exactly hit, and then it does, great. Hold on, let me back up. If you're waiting for the price to hit the 0.618 and then we retrace to the 0.32, retrace to the 0.5, price starts reversing and then goes up, you'll miss out on an entry. That's why I always say dollar cost averaging between the 0.32 to the 0.618 is the best strategy, because you're never going to be able to time bottom to the perfect dollar amount. But Ethereum for me looks pretty good from a wave count perspective. On Ethereum, I have this being the wave 1, 2, and then the wave 3 is next. My target on that, I wish I can make this a different color. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I can make these different colors. Ooh, I can. Let me make that white. Let me see what that had. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Okay. Hold on here. Let me change some of these colors. Let me go to the 2. Let me make that yellow. That one's probably pretty fine. Oh my god, look how much clearer that is. Jeez, I don't like that yellow being there so close to the white, because it kind of alters it a little bit. Let me do like a light green on that. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, I like that a little bit better. It's more clear. I like that better, the white, you know, being there at the 1.618. It just looks better than the blue. But my next target on Ethereum, 7,300. And then one of the other ones that I picked up recently, and this is, again, why I say having a plan. So on the smaller time frame on Circle, this is for, is that I'm going to mispronounce that name. I'm going to mispronounce that name. But yes, we're covering Circle for you right now. Do you think Sol gets to 35? No, I don't see 35 on Sol. I do see like 70 on Sol, but I don't see $35 on Solana. I think that's just too much of a retrace from what the price right now is, like $80. I don't see it cutting another 70%. I do think we probably see like 70, you know, like 80 to 60 on Solana. But Circle is one I'm looking to pick. Well, I already did pick it up, but Circle is one that I'm evaluating right now. So far, we've had the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I can't remember who it was, the question that asked, do you think Meta is going to drop? Oh yeah, do you think Meta is going to drop down to the 0.618? It's similar to here on Circle, right? We have a wave A, a wave B, and then we're in the C. And you can see price action came to the 0.32, kind of bounced up, and then we're going down. That's why I always say dollar cost averaging in at these levels is your best bet, because complex corrections can form. And on this, obviously being the daily, we do have a 3-wave move, but we could be developing, you know, further downside on this. It could also pop up here and then come back down and then pop up again and then come back down. So dollar cost averaging is your best friend, but Circle is one that I'm picking up here at these levels. I do like Circle at these levels. At the bottom of Bitcoin, do you think it's wise to invest it all on Solana? It really just depends on your strategy and your risk management. My opinion is diversification and having a diversified portfolio to better manage your risk is always a great strategy, as opposed to just going all in on one token. Do I think Solana is a great token? Yeah, 100%. I like Solana. I've already invested in Solana and made like a 600% gain on Solana, and took my profits, then rotated it to Fetch before it made its pump. But I always believe in diversification, because some assets will perform well, others will outperform, some will just give you a nice return. But it's nice to have exposure to a lot of different things and not relying on one token, because on Solana, it had a massive pump. It could lag the other ones, even though, you know, it did outperform in the beginning. It could potentially wait a little bit longer, and then you hold it, and then you get fearful, and then you sell it, chasing other tokens that are pumping. So you just got to wait and be patient. What's up, Matt? How are you? Good evening to you, sir. Solana looks pretty good, though. I do like Sol. Sol looks pretty good. I mean, Sol looks very good from the chart perspective. If you look at it, you know, it looks really good. Let me move that so there's just a white one there. I mean, we already have a 5-wave structure with this ABC, and of this ABC, I'm pretty sure we've came down. Yeah, so we popped down to the 0.618, popped back up, and then we retraced down to the 0.786 on Solana. Typically with higher volatility, lower market cap tokens, they do typically visit the 0.786. We're on like higher market cap, less volatile stocks. They typically fall between the 0.382 to the 0.618, but the 0.786 isn't necessarily off the table. It's just typically you see this with higher market volatility tokens and stocks. They have just bigger swings, which is why sometimes they come down to the 0.786. And sometimes they even come down lower, which is just a bigger retrace. But as long as it doesn't invalidate the starting point of wave 1, that's fine. With Solana being where it is right now, I mean, you're already at a big discount on Solana. And I mean, my next target on this thing is 533 is my next target on Solana. So, I mean, risk to reward wise, it looks pretty good. It's at 86 and some change right now. I do think we come down to like the 70 to 60 region, come down, and then we make a push up. AMD, yeah, we can do AMD. I think I did a chart of AMD today, but yeah, we can do AMD. Sui, I like Sui's chart. Sui looks really good. But from a like wave standpoint, Sui looks really good. AMD, I did a video about it today. We're kind of in the wave 5 right now. Let me change this setting for the 1.618 to white because I like that color better. Currently for the wave 5, I'm waiting for this sort of structure to develop for AMD towards, so we have this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we should get final push up 5 for the wave 5. My next target on it's 315, but if you look at the 3-month chart on AMD, it kind of tells the story. So this being the wave up, this being the wave 1, this big correction wave 2, then you have a 5-wave move. If you look at it on the smaller time frame, you have a 5-wave move here for the wave 3. Then you have this correction 4, and then we're in the 5th. This could be a super extended wave 3, but looking at it on the monthly time frame, I see more of a 5-wave move. That's just me personally, but this could be a super extended wave up. You could have, the wave 1, the wave 2, the wave 3, the wave 4, and then the wave 5 up 3. But nonetheless, on the smaller time frame, we do have a little bit more upside. Siva, thank you for the heart. I appreciate that. But yeah, AMD to me has a little bit more upside if you look at it on the weekly time frame. Here in this 5th leg, we have this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up 1, 2, gap up 3, this ABC 4, and then one more leg up for the 5. So I see 315 being the next target on AMD. But it looks pretty good from like an Elliott Wave standpoint. Sui is a really good example of it as well. Sui looks pretty good just from like a wave count perspective. I mean, it has a big correction down after this massive impulse, but I mean, Sui has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up with this ABC down. The next target on it for me again is $8.70 on Sui. So the risk to reward from here is like an 8 to 9x, upwards, or like an 800% gain and 900% gain. So it looks really good. But we also got to factor in, we got to wait for Bitcoin to do its things first. Any thoughts on the tech of HBAR, thinking about if it, thinking that it was different than blockchain might be good? Yeah, I mean, from a fundamental standpoint with HBAR, I mean, it looks pretty solid. I mean, they got some good things going with them from a fundamental standpoint, which is obviously something you want to factor in when you're looking at cryptos. For me, I try to find like cryptos that have real world application that are actually like doing something, as opposed to just like blindly throwing money at meme coins. I mean, while meme coins do hit every now and then, it's more risky. It carries more risk. So it just really depends on your style, like what your style of trading is, what your style of investing is. For me, I'm better for like risk management purposes. I want to scatter my assets into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, into Solana. I already sold my Solana, XRP, just having a very diversified portfolio as opposed to just blindly throwing it into meme coins. Well, I mean, it can be a strategy. It just, again, it's all about your strategy. Let me see here. NMAX? What is NMAX? Is that a stock? NMAX? Newsmax. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing on this. It's just straight down. So there's really nothing to go off of on this. I mean, as far as the structure goes, it looks like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's kind of it just looks impulsive to the downside. You know, until we get sort of waves off the low and some price action, I wouldn't really touch this. Do you think Chainlink is dead? AI killing the software narrative? No, I don't think so. I mean, from a structure standpoint on Chainlink, it looks really good. I do also personally own Chainlink, but they got a lot of fundamental stuff going for them. I mean, they're doing, I want to say, aren't they doing, I remember seeing an article about them before, like, where they were doing something with the Fed, or they were talking with the Fed, and they were putting something on the block, something on their chain, or I can't remember what they were doing, but I do think from a fundamental standpoint, it has a lot of things going for them. But from a pure charting perspective, we have a clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move up with this wave 2, and then this for me is the wave 1 with this A, B, C, D, E perspective, and then the wave 3 should be next towards $90. So I think a lot of crypto right now is being talked about as like, oh, it's dead, you know, whatever. It happens every year, or every time crypto sort of like picks up in the mainstream, everyone looks at the chart, and obviously crypto is going to have big swings, guys. Like, they're highly volatile, highly speculative assets. While they've become more mainstream now, they do have bigger swings because there's more volatility to them. It is just newer. It's a newer technology. The blockchain's newer. It's not necessarily formally rolled out yet. There's not a lot of regulation around it. So these things have bigger swings, and that's what you have to be emotionally ready for when you get into crypto, because something could pump, 500% up, but then it could dump 70%, and you're like, what the hell? Like, this token is, well, let's see for Chainlink, right? You had this massive pump up of 26,000%. 26,000, that's a 26x on your money. Where else are you going to get that? And then what happens? Price declines 90% of its value. So you have a 26x, then a 90% decline, and everyone thinks it's dead. Well, you just made 26x on your money. If you put $1,000 in there, you'd have 26K, and then that declined 90%, and everyone says it's dead. No, you're greedy. That's what you are. You're greedy. If we're talking about it realistically, you just made a 26x on your money. Where else are you going to do that? Where can you find a 26x out there? You can't. And then these stocks blow up, these really, low market cap stocks, and they'll blow up, they'll do like a 500x in a week, and then it'll decline 70, and you're like, whoa, what the heck? This thing's dead. And then it rips up another 800%. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here? I lost all my money. It's like, no, you were fucking greedy and you didn't take profits. That's what you did. I know that might be a harsh truth for everyone, but you're fucking greedy. You made 26x. Take some profits, damn. Crypto is not a casino, guys. It's about making money. Buy during fear. Yeah, 100%. Matt's got it. 100%. Let's see here. Nick coin, please. No. We're not creating a Nick meme coin. We're not doing that. You think AMD going more down tomorrow? I don't do intraday stuff. I chart more on long term. What's your best price for quant? In the next bull run? See, that's my pushback. Everyone thinks that the bull run's over. It's not, guys. This is just a correction. If you look at Bitcoin, everyone thinks, oh my God, we're declining. We're going to continue to decline all the way to November. We could, but high case scenario, this is what's next. We have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Okay, structure's done. Next is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move up to 200. if you're sitting on the sidelines right now or you sold all your tokens out of fear, I can't help you there. But what's next is a big rip upwards. Does it take a year? Does it take 2 years? Does it take 3 years? I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't really care. Again, get your greed out of your head. You're going to make money in crypto if you invest in the right things. I mean, yeah, if you're throwing your money at dog shit meme coins, you're going to lose it all. But if you're putting your money in fundamentally sound assets and buying in the fear and then waiting for it to go up and selling, then you're going to make some money. But you know, if you're blindly just throwing money at tokens because everyone's hyping it up and saying it's the next big thing and you're going to make 100x and you're going to get rich quick, with that mentality, you're going to lose every time. You're going to lose every single time. Bitcoin the king. Yeah, if you don't have a piece of Bitcoin, I would say put it in your portfolio. Everyone sleeps on Bitcoin. This thing did a 10x from the bottom. Not 10x, not a 10x, but you get my drift. We went from here at 15k to 109 at the top. This was for me in a B wave, so I'm not going to count that. That's a 500% on your money. Like, how can you be mad about that? You're making 500% of your money. Can you check out Ton? What's up, Marcus? How are you? Yeah, we can look at Ton. And yes, I apologize to be the one that is tough love and tells you, stop being fucking greedy and take profits. Like, if you continue, I told myself I was going to give up cussing for Lent, so I apologize. So let me correct my language here. Don't get greedy. Stop falling for the trap. Everyone on crypto Twitter and crypto TikTok is, throwing marketing coins at you. Stop doing that. Be smart about your money. Make sound investment decisions. With Tom, we don't really have much, to be honest. Like, this can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4 because this wave 4 entered the territory of this wave 1. So honestly, Tom just looks like a big ABC, A wave, then a B wave, then a C wave, and then an ABC. Well, actually, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, price has invalidated this. So until we get some action off the bottom, until we get a wave 1 off the bottom with a pullback 2, this is in corrective territory. This is what you're going to want to see off the bottom here. So this is what you're going to want to see off the bottom. You can already see it on the monthly on Tau, but you see this big impulsive move off the bottom. This is what you want to see off the bottom, is an impulsive wave off the low. So with Tau, we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're in the 5th. That's what you want to see off the bottom. You don't want to see further correction. So until we get that for a lot of altcoins, they're just in corrective territory until Bitcoin finishes its bottom. Once we get these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves off of the low, then we can wait for the wave 2, and then we can chart out the wave 3 to, make some money on it. But until we get these 5 wave moves off the low, it's really hard to tell where they're going to go. Stocks are interesting. Yeah, 100%. Like, I own stocks too. I'm not shitting on stocks, but typically with crypto, because it's higher volatility, it does bring greater return with more risk, obviously, because you could get, a big swing like this to the upside and then a big dump. So you just got to be able to weather those. If you can't weather the volatility, I would say don't invest in crypto because it is highly volatile. Like with Tau, for example, this thing went up off the launch. I mean, you did a 26x off the launch, and then we're down 80%. So it's like, everyone cries that they lost their money. It's like, no, you made a bad investment decision. Live with it. And then wait for the next move up. That's why having a plan is so important. I can't stress this enough. Having a plan and sticking to a plan is so important. Tau prediction, 1300. That's my next target on Tau. Gavsdad, good to see you, Nick. Doing great work. I appreciate that, Gavsdad. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm a little bit more harsh today. I gotta settle in. You gotta have a plan. I can't stress it enough. So many people lose money in the market, and I've seen it for years. I mean, I've been in financial markets. I mean, I went to school for finance and I was advisor for a while, and I just saw I met with so many people, and that's not directly calling out them because financial literacy is not taught in school, and you're just not, taught financial literacy. The amount of people I connected with and the amount of clients that I connected with that didn't even know what the stock market was, they didn't know what a 401k was, they didn't know what a IRA was, like those things aren't taught. So I don't blame them, but they don't have a plan. There's no plan in place. No one has a plan. They just blindly throw money at things at the wrong times. Like retail will wait until the top and then buy it, and then they'll get dumped on, and then they'll sell down here, and then it'll rip up. And it's just, they can never manage their emotions because they're too attached to their stock, or they're too attached to their money, and they're like, oh, I'm up 500%, I don't want to sell, I'm greedy, and then they lose 90% of it, and then they're like, oh, what the heck? Like, you know, for example, with Tau, like this thing launches, right? And then retail probably bought right here. You know, they made what, a 200% gain on their money. They're like, that's not enough, I want to get rich quick. You know, I'm riding this thing to the moon, and then boom, you get this big decline. So now they're down 43% on their money, and they're like, I'm going to sell this. This is a trash token. It's dead. I'm not going to own this. And then this thing's going to rip up, you know, what, a 10x from the lows almost, 9x from the lows, and they were fearful and they sold down here. And then guess what? I get questions about Tau all the time because it's ripping, and the place to buy was down here. But I digress. Good to see you, man. Good to see you too, Marcus. Welcome back. What's up, Adri? How are you? Yeah, 9x. Yeah, 100%. Let me scroll back up here. Is Bitcoin going to 50? My next targets on it are 60 to 50K, yes. Hey, Nick, do you think Bitcoin will go above 70K one more time to retest? I mean, it's possible on Bitcoin. I won't rule it off the table. My next zones on it were, it really just depends. We got to be patient and let price action come out. Like, so far, what I'm seeing, let me drive down to the 4 hour. So far, what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now is this. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move, and then this ABC. So for me, that was a completed 5-wave move with a 3-wave move. That would mean this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. And then what we should expect next is a wave 3 dump lower. So while 70K could potentially be there, I mean, I don't put it off the table. Let me put these things back on. Hold on. So while I don't put it off the table, we've kind of already hit in that number that I was looking for. I said it on stream, I want to say last week, that after this, wait, when was this 5-wave move done? That was the 22nd of March. What's today's date? The 26th. Yeah, so like 3 or 4 days ago, I said this probably looks like a bottom. You know, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. We might get a little bit more downside, and then we'll retrace. And the zones that I was looking at were between like 73 to 71,000, between the 0.382 to the 0.618. And what did we do? We came to the 0.5, had the B wave, came back to the 0.5, and then we dumped down lower. So for me, those were the zones I was paying attention to. It's possible that we go back up to the 0.382 at 70K, and you know, maybe we further correct this, where this is an A wave, B wave, C wave, then we get an A, B, C, and then we get another A, B, C to the upside, and then we get the dump. It's possible, but that just means the correction prolongs and it takes longer. So ideally, we don't want that, because we want this correction to end soon, so then we can start the impulses to the upside. It just, again, it depends on your strategy. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. I mean, for me, this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an ABC, it validates all the rules. Then we should have a wave 1 and then a wave 2. And if this is the bottom of the wave 2 and we're getting a bounce here, I mean, we could see 69 to 71, you know, on this short bounce for a wave 2. So this being the wave 1, the wave 2 up here, the wave 3, 4, 5, and then that completes the wave 3. I'm fine with that. But we just got to let price action kind of do its thing, unfortunately. And as it unfolds, it becomes more clear. What's up, Drew? How are you? First time here. Welcome in. Would you please check out SoFi, BBAA, and Poet? I'll do SoFi. Yeah, I can do SoFi. Excellent analysis, Nick, as ever. Thank you. Absolutely, Gus. Hope your night is going well. I know you're out there from the UK, so I hope that your evening is going swell. Or should I say swimmingly? Or what's a good UK saying? Isn't swimmingly? Isn't that? Or is that? Am I totally off the mark there? I need some UK sayings. What's up, Topper? How are you? What's going on? Can you look at quant? Yeah, we can look at quant. Algo's still in corrective mode, Adri. We gotta wait for impulses off the low. I'll touch Tau again under 200 if it gets there. Yeah, I mean, I might open a swing trade on Tau, honestly, if we get the prices that I'm looking for. So it depends. You know, I'm waiting on Tau to kind of show me the story. But if Tau comes down to my zones, meaning this being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get an ABC, the zones that I'd be looking at are 285 to 231. If we get a pullback to these levels, I might take a swing trade up, or I might just buy. All good, going marvelously. There it is, marvelously. Okay, there it is. And I got some UK sayings. I'm just messing with you, but marvelously sounds good. I really feel that we'll bottom mid-April, then correct for about a month before we start taking off to the moon. I could see that too, Matt. I mean, it's going to take time, right? Like anything that happens over the next month is going to take time, right? Which could potentially be April. I'm trying to think, maybe the market prices in everything before the new, because when does the new Fed chair come in? Doesn't he come in May or something like that? Doesn't he come in May? So maybe they price out that, maybe we get some resolutions to the Iran war, and then, that could be the spark plug for it. And then maybe the Crypto Clarity Act passes, and that'll be, May. That's what I thought. Yeah, so you get the new Fed chair in May. You get the Clarity Act potentially passing then. And then you get maybe the end of the war, and that 3 trifecta, gives the market clarity. We kind of zone, maybe we get a bottom, right? And then we kind of chop around for a little bit and then take off. I could see that. I could see that. And then we make a run up to 2026, for a wave 1, pull back in 2027 for a wave 2, run up for a wave 3 into the end of 2027, pull back 4 into 2028, and then we get a final leg 5 into the end of 2028. I could see that because everyone would be expecting Bitcoin to bottom out or continue bottoming into 2026, so everyone would be sidelined. I'll go to Bitcoin and I'll just walk you through what I'm thinking. But as far as SoFi goes, this wave counts invalid on SoFi now. So for all those that were on my stream, what was it, a month ago, back in February, we were analyzing this being the wave 1, 2, 3, 4. It was holding here, and my next target was 37. However, on SoFi now, prices declined past the starting point of, or the topping point of wave 1, so this is invalidated. So all of this basically has to be removed. So that is quite unfortunate because that just invalidated the move, which happens. But I was looking at this today and it looks like the wave count is invalid. There's really no other way that I could see it because this can't be a wave 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it invalidates here. This can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4 because it invalidates here. So I mean, SoFi, let's put it on the 3-month. If you put it on the 3-month, it kind of looks like this is a big A wave, B wave, C wave, and then we might get some decline and then pump up. I mean, if we go from a fib retracement down here, I mean, we've retraced this move to the 0.618, maybe is next at $15. From a structure standpoint, I don't necessarily like SoFi that much, given that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 wave count has been invalidated. I do think from a fundamental standpoint, this stock has, plenty of upside to go, but from a target standpoint, I can't really provide any targets on it now that the wave count's invalidated. Fed chair transition expected around mid-May. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. And I think he's probably going to cut. He'll probably cut a ton. So maybe the market's pricing in those interest rate cuts ahead of time, and then we see a rebound. That could make sense. But yeah, SoFi's wave count is invalidated, guys. I mean, this whole move up has been retraced to almost the 0.618, which from a value standpoint, it makes sense, but I don't necessarily like the structure right here. So you said you might, yeah, BMNR I am looking at. What would your price point be, assume when Bitcoin around, but would you be able to tell what BMR price would be? I'm looking to get in as well. Yeah, BMNR, I am looking to get in. That is a stock that I want to get in. It's on my radar. That, and I'm actually probably going to add some SBET to it as well, just to get exposure to both. Divvy it up 50% to both. I think is a good option because one may outperform than the other one, but they're both going to do well. For me, because this is so correlated to Ethereum, I would wait for Bitcoin to bottom, which would also usher in an Ethereum bottom, and most altcoins. I do think that there's probably some more downside on BMNR. As far as price target, this complex correction has given me some trouble. We have an A wave here, an ABC B wave, and then we have this 1, 2, kind of 3, 4, 5 structure developing. For me, I'm not necessarily trying to time this thing to the perfect dollar amount, just given that we've corrected this move a lot. I mean, we're way past the 0.786, so it's deep value. Anywhere really in between, I know this is a massive range, but really anywhere between this range is just great dollar cost averaging. For me, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to bottom, which should usher in an Ethereum bottom, which should bring this, to a bottom. If we look at Ethereum structure and Bitcoin structure, it has this like weird choppy kind of structure that I think is going to break down here soon. So I'm waiting more so for Ethereum to bottom, and then I'll add this to my portfolio. That's my plan. Maybe we come down here to, I don't know, $12. Maybe we come to this gap right here. We could potentially do that, but I'm waiting for Ethereum and Bitcoin to kind of bottom first, and then I'll look to add this. What was the last chart you showed for? SoFi. Let me scroll up here. I missed a lot of these comments. Okay. Do you think we go? Do you think we go on this dip for Bitcoin? When you say go, do you mean like dip further? Yes, I do think we go further. May. Yeah, I think May. Yeah, May. Is Elliott Wave your main trading style? Greetings from UK. What the lead man? What's up? Greetings from the UK. We got Gus over on YouTube from the UK too. So shout out UK for being in the chat today. Yeah, mainly Elliott Wave is my main trading style. I'm not necessarily a trader though. Like I don't really trade on like the daily, like the intraday time frames. Like I don't really day trade that much. I'm more of an investor, so I look to find undervalued positions, leveraging the rules of Elliott Wave Theory and some fib retracements, which is kind of how I approach it from like a more of a long-term investing standpoint. I am starting to integrate some swing trades in there on the smaller time frame. I am in a Bitcoin short right now since 76K. I messed up on the option chain though. I meant to pick August and I picked April, so I think that might expire just due to the April timeframe. So I'm looking to get out of that. I mean, it's moving well. It's going the direction I thought. I picked April instead of August by accident for my expiration date. So the time decay is really hurting the option right now. That's just a mess up on my part. But I'm going to start incorporating some swing trades probably on crypto here soon and kind of document that process. Great advice, $12. Yeah, I mean, I do think BMNR has a little bit more to go. I mean, with it being a leverage play on Ethereum, it could probably get more affected by the decline. So, I mean, I don't know if we see another 36 decline, but we could. I mean, if Ethereum drops 20% real quick, this could drop 30, which could bring us to this, gap down here at 12. Possible, but I'm just going to evaluate Bitcoin and Ethereum. Once they make the move down, I'll look to add this. The only people that make money from TA is people who sell courses and discords. Well, I mean, I guess it's people in the past, but everything of mine is documented and I don't have any courses to sell. So while there are people out there that are grifters and sell courses, I mean, the loved and beloved person of the crypto trading space with TGR, and he's getting kind of he's getting thrown out for being, his trades aren't actually valid. Everything of mine is valid. I posted screenshots of it. If you want to check it out, feel free. But I got nothing to hide. I'm transparent. Those people that sell courses and trading courses, though, are more marketers. Like, they just market their stuff. They don't really talk about things. They just kind of market it. They're more marketers than they are actual, like, investors. And most of them are day traders, too. They just pull up all this day trade shit that never works. 99% of people lose money day trading. Now you know why when they talk about day trading and they sell a course. You're like, well, obviously they're not making money because they're selling courses. So there is some validity to that for sure. But I'm an investor. I'm not a day trader. Bitcoin bottom much sooner than everyone think will happen in October, November. I think Bitcoin bottoms before October, November. That's personally just me. I think when 99% of people think that Bitcoin's going to bottom in October, November. I think that we will see something very different. I think for what... Oh, this is what I was going to say. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that user59? Thank you for bringing that up, because this was the point I wanted to cover before, and then I got distracted. So what I do... Let me go to a different Bitcoin chart with not all the stuff on it, because it's more for drawing purposes. Let me just go to spot crypto. Okay. So let me zoom in here. This is what I do think is next for Bitcoin. So again, this is just a hypothetical. Don't quote me on this. This is just a hypothetical. But so far for me and my trading strategy using Elliott Wave Theory, this is what I see. So this is my opinion. We have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What comes next is a 3-wave move and then a 5-wave move. That's what's next for Bitcoin, right? I think that 99% of people think we're going to have some, bounce and then we're going to drop. That's what, for me, most people think. I see it all over Twitter. I don't really see it on TikTok that much because I don't really scroll on TikTok. I mainly, that's just not my content feed, is just like other stuff. So I do see it on Twitter a lot. Everyone thinks we're going to have this like little bounce and then we're going to dump. Me personally, I think we have, one more leg down to 60, 50K. I've been talking about it for months now. Y'all know the plan. After that, we get a wave 1 bounce off the low. Everyone's going to call this some sort of dead cat bounce, and we're going to do this. However, I think we're going to have a bounce here, a wave 2, an explosive wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. Now, timeline, extrapolating here, I don't really invest based on time. I'm just thinking it through of what could potentially happen. I think that everyone's waiting till November, December of 2026, this zone right here, November to December 2026 for us to bottom. And then that being the bottom, and then what would be 4 years after that? Then they would think 2030 is what the net, right? 2030 would be the next one. 2026 bear market, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. Yeah. So then they think 2030 is going to be the 4-year cycle. It's repeating again. Bear market in 2026, 4 years later, 2030. Bitcoin tops in October, November because, cycles. And what did we get? We got, this top here in November of 2021. Then we got the bottom, close to November of 2022. Then they're going to say, well, guess what? We topped here in November of 2025. We'll bottom in November 2026. And then after that, we'll go up and then we'll top in November 2030. For me, I think that's not what's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is we're probably going to rip up in 2026, have a decline in 2027, rip up to the end of 2027, maybe into 2028, decline, and then rip up to the end of 2028. And then we're going to start an ABC correction through 2029. That's just what I think. So again, price action will unfold and tell a different story, but I think that's what's going to happen. Do you teach Elliott Wave? I am in the process of starting a membership program for those of you that want to learn Elliott Wave Theory and learn how I invest. I haven't set all that up yet, but I will be doing that soon. I've had a lot of interest in people wanting to learn Elliott Wave Theory for themselves and want to be able to, do it for themselves. So I am starting up a coaching program, yes. I just don't have everything set up yet. Let me see here. Dr. Thunder, what's going on? Yeah, we can look at CN. I need you on my team. Sign me up, man. I'll take a look at CN. Give me a second. Let me just scroll through these comments. We can look at CN. CN, rather. CN, sorry. Thanks, Nick. Absolutely. 83K target. Maybe. I just don't see that based on the structure. Yeah, that will not happen. LOL. Why do people don't follow history of Bitcoin? I don't know when that comment came out, Jean. Was that before or after mine? I don't really know when that comment came out, so I'm not entirely sure what that was in reference to, so my apologies. Let me see here. Do you think Bitcoin will drop to 67 on this drop-off? You're talking about like when I said that we're going to top in 2029 instead of 2030? Is that what you're referring to, I think? Do you think Bitcoin will drop to 67 on this drop-off? My next target on Bitcoin is 58K. What will you? No, on this little dump. Oh, you mean on this wave down? Yeah, I mean, it's possible, right? Like if this is the wave 1, 2, and then the 3 is next, we should get a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the smaller time frame. It's possible, but I don't really trade like the intraday stuff that we're currently having. It's possible. I mean, we kind of already got there, right? What was the low of this candle? What was it? 68, almost 67. I don't know. I mean, it's possible on the 2-hour chart. I mean, again, I don't really go much lower than that, but it looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, a 4, and then a 5 developing. So I do think that we probably have, let's see where this wave 4 came to. I mean, the wave 4 came to the 0.382, which is typically where it goes. So, I mean, I do think we could see one more drop down, right? We have a 1, 2, 3, a 4 up to the 0.382, and then a wave 5. And if that is the top there, then, yeah, 67,397 would be the next target on that for this wave 5 lower. But I rarely go down to 2-hour because, again, I'm not really a day trader. While I might start incorporating some swing trades into the strategy, which will be soon. I rarely go down that low. Netflix weekly coming back up. We could look at Netflix. Yeah, we can look at Netflix. Love the idea of swing trade analysis. Would that be crypto or all stocks? I think that it's probably going to be more crypto as opposed to stocks. For me, it's sometimes when you look at stocks chart, like stock charts, it's not every stock chart, but you have like these massive like moves up and then you have these gaps. And it just makes the structure just look weird. Like on the monthly, you don't get that, but on the daily, when you're trying to analyze some of these charts, you get like these, like you'll get a wave 1, a 2, and then you'll get this gap up, and then you're like, okay, well, is this the 3 or like what the fuck am I looking at here? Because you just get these massive gaps, then you get this pullback, and then a 5, and you're like, okay, I guess that's a 5-way move, but with crypto, you don't really get the gaps because they're open, like the market's open 24/7, which I personally like better. So it'll probably be more crypto stuff. Tom Lee says 4-year cycle is dead. Could it happen sooner? Again, like I think 4-year cycle is just a narrative that people have latched onto. Again, I could be wrong. It's my opinion. Sue me for it. I don't really give a shit. It's my opinion. I don't trade on cycles. I trade on Elliott Wave Theory, and the theory that I have is suggesting, and my strategy is suggesting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and then wave 5's next. Again, sue me. Sue me. I don't care. But that's just my opinion. You know, I do think that we're going to have a 5-way move up to the upside towards 200K, and everyone's going to be sidelined. Let's see here. Do you think mid 50s will be the bottom of this corrective wave? My next targets are 60 to 50K. Yes, it really depends on how extended this third wave gets. It really just depends. Because right now my targets on this third wave, given if this is a wave 2, which it does look like it is, but my next targets for the third wave are 58K. Now, we could also extend down here the 2.618 to 49. So it just depends on how deep this third wave goes. And to give you an example of what I mean is this third leg of the larger wave, so this being the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and of this third leg right here, it extended down to the 2.618. So if you take this chart, we extended all the way down to the 2.618. So if that happens again for this wave 3, you know, we could see 49K, and then after that, we'll get something that looks like this. We'll get something that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the structure will be complete. But if theory provides correct, which it typically does, 58K is the next target, and then we'll get a pullback 4 and then a 5. So that's why I say 60 to 50K is my zone. UK folks don't sue, we smile. Cheers, man. Cheers. Or should I say marvelous? Look at the 5-year on Bitcoin and you'll see the bigger picture. The 5-year. I don't know if I have the ability to do that on this chart. I have 12 months. I have the 12 month. I don't have 5-year on it. I don't really know what I'd be looking at here. I mean, this is the 12-month chart. So, and that's kind of what it looks like. You know? I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for here, but on the 3-month, you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way move, ABC wave, and then you see kind of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves here too. But as far as the monthly is concerned, you know, there's still more upside to go. Look at the monthly chart. Last bear run, March, we will dip until June, then accumulation. So that's where I push back on that, John, because history, while it repeats it in rhymes, it doesn't perfectly execute the same way. Like, if everyone's thinking the same thing, it's going to be different, which is why a lot of people are getting caught off guard for this structure, because this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everyone is expecting this to be, you know, a correction and then a rip. And then as this price action unfolded, it was corrective, and then we're seeing the dip. So it really just depends. I don't trade time, though. I trade structure and price. Let me see. Normally, we pump March, drop until June, then bottom in November, December, then it's going up. I mean, hey, if that's your strategy, I have more power to you. Unfortunately, I just disagree. The bottom is in already. You included. If you're waiting for 50K, then you will be sidelined. I'm already in Bitcoin, so I'm not sidelined, but structurally wise, the bottom's not in, no. You're more than welcome to disagree with me on that. I mean, I've had people that have been disagreeing with me that the bottom is in since December. Everyone was saying the bottom was in back here, and then I said prices are going to dip, and then they dipped, and then everyone's saying the bottom's in here, and I say prices are going to dip, and then they'll dip, and then they'll be like, ah, shit. It's the fucking news, man. There's negative news bringing the price down. That's what everyone told me on this dip. Everyone said on this dip, the reason that price is dipping is because of the Epstein files and the government shutdown. While technical analysis was leading it and suggesting lower, everyone was saying, well, no, you're wrong. The bottom was in, but the news is bringing it down. Yeah, okay. Stick to your strategy. And if you like a strategy and you have a strategy, stick to it. But I would... I got mine, so. And I'll let my work speak for itself. Benjamin Cohen thinks a 70% drop from all-time high, 126, I think. What would be a 76% drop from the high? I'm curious what that would be. I'm not sure who... I had someone tell me about Benjamin Cohen before, but I don't really know who he is, to be honest. 76% drop would put us at 30K. Yeah, I don't see that. Unfortunately, I don't see 30K. Oh, wait, is that? No, wait, hold on. Let me move it up a little bit more. 76. That would put us at, yeah, 30K. Yeah, I don't see that. I could be wrong, but I don't see 30K. I mean, he is more than welcome to his opinion. I'm sure he probably does great work. I'm not personally familiar with his stuff, but, you know, it does seem like he's got a strategy, so stick to it. But for me, like 60 to 50K, if we get an extension to 40, sure, but I don't necessarily see 30 in my, to be honest. Can you check out Amazon? What do you think? Yeah, we can look at, no, what were we going to look at before? Sorry, Netflix? Yeah, we're going to look at Netflix. Sorry, there was a lot of questions for Bitcoin, so I just wanted to make sure I got those answered. Yeah, I mean, Netflix is bouncing off the 0.5. We did have a nice bounce off the 0.5 here for Netflix. I was telling y'all about this, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, and we should expect an ABC move down somewhere between the 0.382 to the 0.618, which we dropped to the 0.5 perfectly and bounced off of it. On the date, and this is what I was saying before with like stocks, like you get these gaps up, right? Like this is a big gap, right? And while it may look like an impulsive wave 1 with a wave 2 and then, you know, wave 3's next, it's just these gaps are always so frustrating because you can't look at the smaller time frame and figure out what the price action looks like. Like if we go to the 4 hour, I mean, you kind of have a 1, 2, 3, but then this can't be like a 4 or 5. The gaps just throw off the price action so much. That's why it's hard sometimes to look at the lower time frame. I mean, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's really choppy. I rely more with stocks on like the monthly and weekly because you don't get those gaps. But structurally wise, I mean, we fulfilled the wave 2 on Netflix. We dropped down to the 0.5, which is a good retrace. And my next target on Netflix would be 266. But it's all about having a strategy. And for me, dollar cost averaging at these levels between the 0.382 to the 0.618 is great. Because if you stick to that, you'd have an entry at 0.382 and an entry at 0.5, and then boom. You would have loaded up on Netflix at deep value discounts, dollar cost average in, lowered your price average from 89 at the 0.32 to 75, decrease your cost average, increase more shares, and then, ride it up. Yeah, that's what I want to say. I guess the bottom is not in. Maybe much changes through time. Yeah, 100%, John. I agree. I do think the bottom's not in my opinion, based on the structure, which is going to be more downside, and who knows how long that can prolong, right? It's all about how price action develops in the structure. For me, I'm just going to let that unfold how it unfolds. If it takes a month, great. If it takes 2 months, great. If it takes 3 months, great. If it takes 6 months, however long it takes to develop the structure, I'll just wait until that's done and then, ride it up. Yeah, I mean, those are great averages between 92 to 72. I mean, that's a great average on Netflix. And that, for me, is what my strategy is geared around, is between the 0.32 to the 0.618 dollar cost average in, and then wait for the 1.618 for the wave 3, and take profits there, or wait for the 4 and then 5 and then take profits there. It really just depends on what you want to do. But I mean, from an all-time high perspective, the 0.32 is a 30% discount, 0.5 is a 43. So you're looking pretty good. And then, yeah, the next target's 266 on it. You think SPY dumps hard into the weekend? So that, again, I don't really trade like shorter time frames like that. For me, while I do have SPY continuing down, yes, I don't trade on it on like a 1 to 2 day time frame. Mine's all geared around longer stuff. With the swing trading, yes, I'll do that, but I'm not looking to swing trade SPY. This wave 5 price action was just so weird. But we're having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should expect a drop on SPY. So my bias on SPY, until proven otherwise, is to the downside. Yeah, I do have another 10K drop on Bitcoin for sure. Hello from Crypto Twitter. What's up, Christian? How are you? Nobody said the bottom is in. Everyone is saying what you're saying. Bitcoin is going to 50K. I mean, if everyone's saying it, great. But I pay attention to my work. I don't focus on other people. Would you exit your short if we don't break the trend line? What's your standard stop loss? So I don't day trade. So for me, that's not something I really do. I'm an investor. So when I enter, I buy at these levels and then I hold till my next levels are hit. Now, when I start doing the swing trading stuff on crypto, then yeah, I'll have some stop losses for sure on that. But as of right now, with most of my stuff, I'm more of an investor. I've already taken profits on Solana. I've taken profits on Fetch. When that hit a 5x, I took some profits on some other coins and just waiting for some other ones to have impulses off the lows. Matt said he has a PhD, but I have a higher chess rating. I was up to like 800 on chess, not gonna lie. I got up to like 800 on chess, like an 800 on chess.com. I think my ELO was like 800. John said everyone was saying that we will hit 80K when we were at 126. What's your point? That's a good point. Fair. How about Microsoft? It's losing the AI race and it shows on the chart. I think we looked at Microsoft the other day. Let me find it. So, yes. Yeah, we looked at Microsoft on like a, what was it, a 6-month time frame, I want to say? Yeah, that's right. So we looked at Microsoft on a 6-month time frame. Because on Microsoft, you have this, like, this is kind of what the structure looks like. You have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, and then we're in the pullback now for this wave 3. On the 3-month, you can see it a little bit more clear. Again, like, Microsoft just has so much price action, so to analyze this on a really large time frame, you kind of have to look at it, you know, on the big time frame. But as far as like levels that I was paying attention to, it was 347, to 220 was my level. We're almost there now, right? We're at 366. Once these prices are hit for me between 347 to 220, those are great dollar cost averaging for the next wave up. I can't remember where the wave count was on this. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then that was the wave 1. No. We did it yesterday. I just got to remember where it was. I think we looked at it on the monthly time frame. Yeah, it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5 for the wave 3. Actually, hold on. Yeah, and then the wave 4 here. Let me see something. Because this 1, 2, this can't be a 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this can't, because this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. That can't happen. So this to me looks like an A wave, B wave, and then a C wave down. That's what that looks like. We looked at it on the 3-month yesterday. Now I'm just trying to get my footing of why that was there. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, yeah, I think the 5th came up to here, and then we're correcting. That was what it was. And then we were analyzing this. Yeah, I mean, the next levels for me would be 345 to 219. That's what I'd be looking at for a wave 4 pullback. Typically, the wave 4 pulls back to the 0.382 at 345. So that would make sense. I want to see what this actually looks like. So those almost line up to the same extent, too. Yeah, 345 would be my next level, and then 282 would be the 0.5, and then a deep correction would be 219. But now, I mean, Microsoft has its thing. Like, yeah, it's declining pretty rapidly, but once this thing wakes up again, it'll go. For me personally, I just like better. I like MSTR. I like BMNR. I just like other stocks that the charts are a little bit more clear. Like, MSTR looks really good right here. Like, love it or hate it, whatever your opinion is on it, like, MSTR looks prime. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up with this ABC, and I do have one more leg lower on MSTR between like 100 to 80, but my next target on that, if we see 93, for example, is 961. So I'm taking a bet on MSTR to potentially hit a 900% gain. For me, it's just the risk to reward looks better on MSTR. SPY, yes, I do have more correction on SPY. We got here. Yeah, 300. Yeah. Oh, summer. What time is it? 7. Perfect on the dot. What's up, Roll Tide? So, what's the highest percentage profit you try to make? It's not necessarily based on profit. It's more based on structure. So, like when I look at charts, I'm like, okay, structurally wise, what does it look like, right? With MSTR, right? We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with an ABC. Okay, using that structure, where's the next target on it? Well, you use the fib tool to the top, take it down. My next target on it's probably like $95. My next target's $953. So looking at this chart based on the structure, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3 is next towards the 1.618. Well, the risk to reward on that's like a 900% gain, so that looks really good. And then Hood is also a really good one too. I like Hood structure. But Robinhood, for example, I have a lower leg to about 63 and then 300. So that's a 500% gain, and it has clear structure. It has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a wave 2 down, and then a wave 3 up towards 300. So it's more based on the chart structure and what it suggests is next based on the theory. And then what'll happen is, this is obviously my first target, but if we get a massive wave 1 with a wave 2 and a massive wave 3 and it completely obliterates my target, then I'm like, okay, how many waves have we had? Well, we've only had 3 waves. I'm expecting a 4 and a 5, so I'm going to ride it out until the structure is done. So it's more about the structure of the chart, less so percentage gain. Nick said, correction to 219. What a great prediction. You clearly are emotional by your trading, so stick to a plan, man. You'll do fine. But if you don't, then I can't help you. I'm paying $5,000 to the first few people that message me faithful. Well, I appreciate the faithful, but no, don't message that. MSTR outperform in terms of X compared to Bitcoin, so Defo yeah, I mean, MSTR structurally wise looks really good. Hood looks really good. You know, again, it's just really dependent on the chart. Like, you may say, oh, well, Microsoft can't correct that low. You know, look at MSTR. We corrected down to the almost points, or Hood, for example. We've had a 5-wave move, and then we're correcting down. Well, these are the levels, 0.382 to 0.618. We blew by the 0.32, we blew by the 0.5, we were approaching the 0.618. So if Microsoft does the same on the chart we just showed, if it blows through the 0.382, the 0.5, and the 0.618, then yeah, 219 could potentially be hit. Is now a good time to get it? I'm waiting, Roll Tide. I'm waiting on one more pullback for MSTR based on Bitcoin pulling back one more time. I'm waiting for another pullback on MSTR, and then I'll get in. My zone is like $100 is when I'll start dollar cost averaging in. Joining in to say, let's go Purdue. I was going to throw down a bet on Texas today just to, you know, play the odds. I do think Purdue wins that game, but I was only going to stream until the game, to be honest, because I want to watch the game. So I might end the live here soon, but I'll stay on for, we'll do like 1 or 2 more charts. Do you see altcoin season coming? Yeah, once Bitcoin bottoms, I see it. Tesla, if you can. All right, yeah, let's do Tesla, guys, and then we can do Intel. We'll do Tesla, then Intel, and then I'm gonna go watch the Quant. We can do Quant. I think I checked Quant before. It's kind of in a wave too, but we can look at it. Yes, we looked at Tesla the other day. My next target on Tesla is 661. That's my next target on Tesla is 661. So just waiting for this price action to kind of move there. But my next target on it's 661. And then Quant. I don't know if we've looked at Quant. Like Quant USD as in like the crypto, I'm assuming. Oh, well, that one doesn't show the price action I want. That one doesn't show it. Is there like another? Is Coinbase have a better one? I mean, based on the, I do own Quant, but if this if this is the price action, then there's really not much to go off of, to be honest. Everything just, I mean, if you look at this chart, everything just looks choppy and corrective. So until we get impulses off the low, something like this, there's really, you just got to wait for the impulse off the low. So this one still kind of just looks corrective. I do think once we bottom for Bitcoin, this might see a lower leg, but until we get some structure, there's really no telling where this is going to go. Intel. Where's the Intel one? There it is. I'm assuming 6-month on this one because there's probably so much price action. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. I mean, on the 6-month, it kind of looks like on Intel, we have a wave 1 and then this ABC2, and we should expect a wave 3 next. That's on a massive time frame. Like, it does look that way. Let me go to the 3-month. I just want to see if there's anything different. I mean, on the 3-month for this, it kind of looks like we have... Let me zoom in a little bit more. I mean, this 1, 2, does that overlap? It does not. All right, so we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is a wave. Yeah. Okay. So this, for me, on Intel is a wave 1. This is a wave 2, and then wave 3 is next. So where did that start? 1, 2, 3. Right back here. I mean, the next target on Intel for me is 134. That would be the next target on Intel. That would be my next target on Intel is 134. Now on the monthly time frame, my average is 23, so basically retirement, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's a big move from here. And it does look, I mean, based on this structure right here on Intel, this all looks corrective. So this is like an A wave down, a B wave, and then this ABC, and then we're starting the impulses off the low. And from what I can tell on the month, let's go to the weekly just on this move. On the weekly, it does look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a wave 2, and then we should see a wave 3 up. So this wave 2 is still kind of developing, it looks like. I mean, we pulled back to the 0.382. There could be further correction down to 36 or 32, but the higher probability is up based on this 5-wave move being, if we correct down to the 0.5, the next target's 94. If this is the bottom, the next target's 99. And if we correct down to the 0.618, the next target's 90. So somewhere in like the $90 to $100 range is next. Whenever this wave 2, like this being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this wave 2, wherever it decides to end, and then up, the $90 to $100 is the next target. And then on the larger time frame, right, the wave 3 is 134. So, but that might be extended because if we get this wave 1, wave 2, and then $100 is next, then we get a wave 4 and then a wave 5. But 134 to 163 really at the 2, even 210 is a potential. But it does look like we have the start of a first impulsive wave 1, which is great. It looks like we're in a wave 2 now, and then wave 3 should be next. Thank you for your time. Absolutely, yeah, no problem at all. What's up, Matt? How long did it take you to learn how to trade? So again, I'm more of an investor as opposed to a trader. Just want to make that distinction. Like the way that I chart in my strategy is geared more towards long-term investing. So when I'm analyzing charts, it's mainly on like the monthly, weekly, and daily time frame. While I do analyze stuff on the smaller time frame, it's mainly more for long-term investing stuff. Like obviously you just saw with Intel, right? We looked at the 3-month time frame. So it's going to take, you know, for this 5-wave move to develop for this wave 3, like it's going to take, you know, could take a year to 4 years, maybe even more than that to develop. But I'm more of an investor as opposed to trader. I've been in the markets for over 8 years, tried out a bunch of different strategies, blew through accounts, you know, did everything under the sun that you've seen on YouTube, TikTok, X. I've tried it all. Most of it, basically 99% of it didn't work. I got scammed. I got, you know, caught into buying the courses, the membership plans, the Discord stuff. None of it worked. I kind of just got conned in. And for me, most of the people on Twitter and TikTok, while they have, you know, probably a strategy and maybe it works some of the time, for me, they're mainly just marketers and try to promote their stuff as opposed to actually educating people on smart investment decisions. Half the shit is just throwing money at meme coins and having a hope and a prayer. So that's not my strategy. I'm more of an investor. While I am starting to integrate some swing trading into there, that obviously carries more risk because you're on a shorter time frame. You're not investing with a long-term view. So you got to balance out the risk reward. You got to have stop losses to, you know, have proper risk management. But I am more of an investor as opposed to a trader. So just wanted to make that distinction. Thanks, Nate. Great charting. I appreciate that. I do my charting, and it's good to see someone else with a different site to get a similar conclusion. Yeah, absolutely. And again, not everyone has the same strategy, right? As long as you have a strategy, you have a plan, you have discipline, and you stick to it, most of the time, that's all you need. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be on the right side of the trade. And by sticking to a plan and sticking to a strategy, that's how you do that. And then having discipline, having emotional discipline, sticking to your plan, not getting FOMO'd out, not getting feared out, not getting greed out. Just stick to the plan, get in, get out, make some money, buy undervalued positions, sell it at profit. Don't get greedy. You'll win, you know, more than, you know, 60% of the time. So, or not 60%. You get the point. You win more than you lose. Let's see. Neo, my next target on Neo's $93. SPY back to 610 with the ABC or what? All right, we'll look at SPY for the last chart, and then I'm going to go watch March Madness games, just throwing it out there. I did say I wasn't going to go long today, so I do want to watch me some Purdue, Texas, so I will be joining that and watching that game. Feel free to join the Discord if you want. We chat in there all the time. We got a D-Gen play in there. You know, for those of you that are interested, I don't really do it, but we got some people that wanted to add a D-Gen channel in there for like gambling and sports betting and, you know, crypto meme stuff. So if you want to join the Discord, it's free. Link in my bio. Go join it. You know, join the community. We hang out in there, chat. It's more of just a community-based thing. So if you want to do that, feel free to join it. Again, it's the link in my bio. You can join the Discord. Now, for my next target on SPY, just being this sort of obviously covers the broader base of the market, a minimum correction, 614 to the 236. But for me, again, my strategy is geared more around the 0.382 to the 0.618, which you might be saying, well, no, SPY is never going to come down to 522. It's possible, and it can, just depending on how this ABC structure develops. Shallow corrections typically go to the 0.382. I'll show you 2 examples of them. So on this initial wave 1 right here, we retrace down to the 0.382. You can see it here on the chart. We retraced down to the 0.382 and bounced. However, again, just because SPY is a big asset doesn't mean it can't correct to big numbers. On the, right here, sorry, right there. On the wave 3, look at where we corrected to. We corrected all the way from 609 to 482 at the 0.618. And I know people always tell me in the chat and comments and TikTok live, well, SPY would never correct that far. Well, the wave 1 corrected to 0.382. The wave 3 corrected to the 0.618. So it's not off the table, guys. It's not off the table. That's why having a plan, a strategy, and discipline is important. I'm not saying that we are going to correct to the 0.618, but you can't rule it out. So with SPY, the next zones are between 564 to 481. 481 being a deep correction, it's less likely, but it is not off the table. We will get an ABC structure down to somewhere. This could be the start of the A wave, then we get a B wave bounce, and then a C wave. Again, price action will tell the story. Maybe there's a little bit more upside, but for me, based on this structure, having a 5-wave move, an ABC correction is next. Do we see this A wave down to 615? A B wave up, maybe we extend a little bit more, and then a big dump down. It's possible. Do we see an A wave, a B wave, and then sort of like a running flat C wave? Possible. Again, it doesn't necessarily matter. Have a plan, stick to a plan, you'll be all right. So I hope that helps. Thoughts on longing Bitcoin right now? Me personally, that carries a lot of risk with not much reward. I personally wouldn't do it. But again, my opinion. When you give these price predictions, what is the time horizon? Like 200K to Bitcoin? Again, I chart more off of price as opposed to time. I know everyone gets caught up on time. Again, you got to kind of flip your mind here, guys, and not try to get rich quick. I know everyone wants to hit a massive opportunity. Again, I do too, right? I want to hit massive licks, but we got to get time off of our minds, because if we keep focusing on time, it's going to stress us out. It's going to bring anxiety. It's going to bring fear and emotion, and you're going to make bad decisions with your investments. You're going to sell too early, and the thing's going to rip, and you're going to either sell for a loss because it's not moving the way that you want it to move in a certain time period. Trade to the price, focus less on time. Again, that for me is just rooted in greed. Unfortunately, I got to be honest with y'all. Everyone that asks me time, for me, that just screams, I'm greedy. I want things to happen sooner so I can make a ton of money. We got to remove that mindset from our head, because you're going to lose in the market 100% of the time when that happens. I do think that we see a bottom here in the next couple months, and then probably within a year to 3 years, we get the targets that we're looking for. But again, those are hypotheticals. We got to remove time from the equation, because it's very hard to predict time, and we just got to trade to targets. Yeah, and again, too, like I hold mine for minimum a year most of the time, and I ride these big waves up. Is stop the cap. I don't know what you're referring to, Ryan, but sure, whatever your opinion is, sure. But yeah, you got to get time off your thing. You got to get time off your thing. I can't stress it enough. Buy undervalued positions and hold. That's the name of the game. You buy at undervalued areas and you wait until the targets and you sell for a profit. But that being said, I want to go watch the Purdue game, so I'm about to log off here. When you do enter into these assets in the future, are you able to indicate percentage of your portfolio size to get a better idea of the risk management you are doing with each relative to overall? That's actually a good idea. I could start doing that. I mean, I allocated some funds to Neo recently. Percentage of portfolio, I'd have to go back and look what the overall percentage is, but I can start factoring in that for sure. Okay, great live. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. what do you earn from TikTok? I mean, I get sometimes people come in here and donate stuff. I don't request it or require it. I mean, people will throw roses and things like that. It's not required, guys. Like, I don't ask for it. Someone threw me a galaxy one time before. I had no idea what that was, but you know, I make a little bit of money from the TikTok lives, but it's really not that much. I buy high, sell low. Love your philosophy. I don't. For those that have ears, let them hear. For those that don't, I can't help you there, Ryan. Apparently, you missed everything that I just said. So, thank you for coming in here and hating. I do appreciate it. But again, I don't think you were listening. So, with that being said, I am going to log off and go watch the Texas-Purdue game and look forward to seeing y'all in the Discord. If you want to chat during that game, I might throw a sports bet on it. You know, again, like $5, but I like to throw a sports bet here and there. Thanks, man. Take care from Toronto. I've never been to Toronto. I want to add that to my list. So if I'm out there, I'll let you know. Another great one. Thanks. Have a great night. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that. Good job. Thanks, Grizzly Bear. Who you got? Personally, if I was a betting man, I would go Texas just for the odds, but I think Purdue's going to win it. I do. I think Purdue will probably win. We'll see, though. We'll see. But with that being said, I'm going to go watch the game because the game's on. I don't want to miss it. So hope that y'all have a great rest of your night. I will see y'all Sunday because I don't go live until Sunday again. So I'll see y'all Sunday. Obviously, I'll post the videos throughout the week, but have a great weekend and look forward to seeing y'all on Sunday. There we go. All right, so TikTok lives ended. What do y'all enjoying the content, learning a lot of what you cover already in portfolio. Enjoying the content, learning a lot of what you cover already in your portfolio based on conviction. This has opened me up to setting up strategies. Nice. That's the goal, man. Proper risk management, having a plan, having a strategy, and having emotional discipline is the key to investing. You don't have to get every target right to the absolute number. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be on the right side of the trade, have emotional discipline, hold, and sell. The name of the game is making profit. You don't have to be perfect, right? You don't have to get these. When I throw these targets out, it's more of a guide of where I want price to go. While it does hit sometimes to the perfect number, it's more of a guide to say, okay, here are deep value discounts. Let me buy, and then I'll sell at these next targets. So I hope that it's helping. I'm glad that it is. But if there's anything that you can take away from this live or my content, it's develop a strategy. You can take mine for what it is. If you want to, do the same things that I do, you don't necessarily have to, but having a strategy is key. If you do what I do, great. If you take what I do and then formulate your own plan, even better. I think having your own plan and building confidence is key. So with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see y'all on Sunday.